G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of the CoolDadCollective podcast, a podcast that is for dads by a dad talking everything there is to talk about fatherhood, the ups, the downs, the trials, the tribulations. I always find it really weird when I do the intro and you're just looking at me.
Thought I was on the radio.
Yeah, dude, I get a bit of a radio voice now, but you know, it comes with the territory. I'm sitting down today with, I think in Brisbane, if you play football in Brisbane, you know who this guy is. He's one of the most positive human beings I've ever met in my life. He's a fantastic dad, an unbelievable footballer, but I have the privilege of sitting down today with Mr. Graeme Fyfe. Fyfey, how are you, my brother?
Brilliant, mate. And thank you. Mate, when you said you were doing this, there's nobody else I'd rather do it with.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad we get to sit down. We were just chatting before about how nice it is to sort of just sit down and chat a little bit about fatherhood. And I know it's something that you're really passionate about too. And I really feed off that passion, both, you know, with you as like someone I've sort of been around and looked up to as a footballer, but then now obviously in the dad realm for me, someone I also look up to as a dad. So I really appreciate you obviously giving up time with your kids and your family to sit down with me for an hour, man.
No, mate, brilliant. And obviously you mentioned the football there, and that was my starting point here.
Yeah.
But for you to say that about the dad part, man, it means a lot, man. That's sick.
Oh,
Cheers.
man, that's awesome. So for those of you who don't know Fyfey, I'll let you give a little bit of a rundown of who you are and what you're about, and then if you can sort of give us a rundown about, like, we call it the dad stats. Mm-hmm. So how many kids you have and how old they are, and we can sort of jump in there. So what is the story around Graeme Fyfe?
Well, yeah, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I got two kids, mate.
Yeah.
I got a daughter and a son. And as soon as we had one of each, that was me off to the doctor, snip.
Yeah.
Enough was enough. But yeah, my daughter's coming up for 12. My son's coming up for 9.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
So I've been a dad for a while now, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But
yeah, I love that. It's so true. Like, I think that's a very common thing that I talk to, no matter how old kids are. I think even talking to like Ash Anthony, one of the other boys here, and his daughters are like 20 and 25 or whatever. And I think it's like an ongoing journey where you're just continuously learning, and I don't think it ever stops.
Nah, spot on, mate. I'd put it like a book. It's like different chapters.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know when these chapters finish.
The book doesn't end, bro.
It just keeps going. You thought the Bible was big?
Oh, dude. Yeah, man, I could only imagine the dad Bible, and obviously the phases that we're in too. You know, not to like sort of make cliches or anything, but 12-year-old daughter. How's that going, man?
Can I say different?
Yeah, you can definitely say different.
Like, to be honest, I was brought up, it was me and my brother.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what a sister was like. I didn't know what a young girl was like in the house. So a lot of it's new to me. I'm just really lucky I've got an amazing wife, because she had a couple of sisters. But Harper's a gem. She's amazing. But yeah, there's things that are said and done and little actions that happen that I've never been around. Yeah. So I'm sort of learning, mate. You know, every so often I'm like, geez, what do I do here? You know, so it's it's cool.
Yeah, I think because I've got 2 girls, and you know, I'm very similar. It's just me and my younger brother, and so you know, I'm always conscious of like how we were as kids, and I see like similarities between the girls, but then I also see things that I'm just like, this must just be a girl thing. Like, this is something that I just am. It's so foreign to me. Like, I guess the emotions are very hard to handle, especially because, you know, my dad was very much like, tough it out, get over it, mate, get it done. And I sort of had that philosophy too a little bit with my daughter Skylar to start off with. And I went, I don't think this is going to work with her. I think I need to be a little bit more in touch with my emotions here.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I literally find myself like looking at my wife, and she sort of gives me these big eyeballs, and it's like, okay, I'll take 10 seconds myself before I even try and reply to what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's good, bad, and ugly. It doesn't matter. You just got to find a way. So I suppose it's like teacher, football, coaching. You got to find a way that it lands right for them.
Yeah. Do you find too? Because this is what happens with me. Because obviously playing football for like 23 years or something. You find a lot of the things you always relate it back to like football or coaching? Because I know I do a lot when there's things that I'm talking about. I'm like, oh man, I think I just emulated like a coach's speech to Skylar before she goes out to play, you know, under 4 soccer.
Yeah, spot on, mate. I think I've got the tactics board out a few times. It's figuring out how I can handle this situation.
Oh man, so. It's very like, I think parenting, you can see the correlations between a lot of things to do with like just general life. as well.
100%.
Like, you know, the resilience, the perseverance, trying to teach resilience as well. And I think it's really hard. And I feel like when it's with your kids, there's a lot more on the line than if it's a game of football.
Oh, of course, mate. And even when I'm playing football, I relate it back to the kids because, like, you're coaching and I go, boys, I really like you, or girls, I really like you as a team, but I don't love you.
Yeah,
and it's that love part. It's that unconditional love you got for your kids. It's just, when you're teaching or trying to be a parent, there is that emotional love factor because you don't want to, you never want to hurt them with what you say or do or anything, but you also need to, you need rules, you need consequences.
Like just enough, I guess I'm going to say trauma in quotations to create resilience, but not enough trauma to create problems. You know what I mean?
100%. And it's not like when we were younger.
No, that's
because coaches were different, parents were different, grandparents were different. So it's getting with the day and age as well, and it's definitely different.
Yeah. Going back all the way back to sort of obviously before Harper was born, so 12 years ago now. So a very long time and probably a very different Graeme Fyfe, being very young dad there. Is there something that sort of stuck out to you that sort of made you nervous before having a child, whether it be to do with birth, to do with pregnancy, or just to do with just the early stages of fatherhood?
Yeah, it's a bloody great question. It was a long time ago. I can't remember lunch today, but there's a lot going on. But now I do remember, I really remember sitting on the sofa one night, and Lizzie's beside me, and she's massive in the belly, like she's ready to pop. And I think it was like, I don't know, 40 hours later, we were sitting in the same seat and we had a kid.
Jesus.
So just watching the same show, I don't even know what it was. Home and Away or something.
I know. 40 hours.
Between
close to, long enough to be like, holy shit, this is taking a long time.
Yeah, but it was more like from sitting on the sofa.
Yeah.
Then obviously we went through it. We woke up in the night.
Yeah, she was okay.
Like giving birth, and then it was.
Yep.
So that the whole thing, her pain wasn't that. Yeah. And I was just sitting there going, what do we do now? Like 40 hours ago, we're sitting here eating some food, watching TV, and now we've got to make sure this little precious thing.
It's so quick. No matter how long birth takes, that is such a surreal feeling. Being like, oh, we were 6 hours ago, 8 hours ago, 10 hours ago. It was just you and me. Now it's you and me and this thing.
Yes.
And we got to work out how the hell do we make this turn into a human being
somehow. Yeah, 100%, mate. And that was when I was like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
The mad thing was, to go back to that, was like the next day or two, I was going off to work.
Yeah,
I was going back to training.
Yeah,
coaching. So I was really nervous about my wife.
Yeah,
she's an amazing mom, but I'm like, her world just totally flipped.
Yeah,
when as a dad like myself, like you were back to work, you had to. So parts of your life stayed the same. Where my wife's was like totally different. Like it was like flipped 180. So I was nervous a bit for her and the dynamics and how that was all going to be, because you actually don't know.
Yeah, no, and I don't think people really acknowledge that. Like, I mean, as a guy, and especially like 12 years ago, I think we've come a long way with leave and all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't that long ago that if you're a guy, it was like, oh, there's a baby, say hello, and off you go back to work.
Spot on, mate.
Yeah,
spot on.
That's great. Were you playing professionally at the time?
Semi-pro.
Just
here in Australia. So I was still playing.
Yeah.
And you had a season to get through.
Yeah.
I actually missed a couple of games because she might have gave birth.
Yeah.
And I had to play for the under-23s, which was fun.
Yeah.
It was so easy.
Yeah. I was just about to say, you're some poor 23-year-old. Dude, you know what's funny? 12 years ago, I was probably a bit young, but I could only imagine you just, finally cracked the 23s. You go out on the field, you look over, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's Fyfey.
I had a few comments like, what are you doing here, man?
Dude, I could only imagine, man. Yeah, the 23s coach was probably so stoked that Lizzie was having a baby.
It was one of them, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
I think they'd been beat 4 games in a row or something. So it was me and another guy went down and played, and it was good fun. And you were there to help the young ones. On the pitch. But again, my life had said, not that it wasn't the same, but maybe 60% of it was the same. And but yeah, for the missus, it must have been pretty full on. But she took to it like a lot of mums, like duck to water, and it was so good.
That's awesome. And I think too, I feel like you're someone that was from the very, very beginning. You're very involved. Like it seems like I always see like on Instagram, you and your son, you always train with your son in the morning, things like that. I feel like that's such an amazing thing. But to balance obviously you're with football and then work and then, putting in the work with your kids, like that, I can only imagine a lot of us do that, but how did that go with the balancing? Did you ever find with football that you were like, oh shit, like I feel like I'm kind of losing that, but that's okay because this is more important to me?
Yeah, I think I think balance is a great word, and I always say to my players when I'm going back to football, you might hear this a lot, Matt.
No, I love it because I feel like I can relate way better with it.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. But I think we always say to the players, well, I do anyways, stay in the now.
Yeah.
So, if I'm at work, I do my work.
Yeah.
If I'm playing football, I got to be in it 100%. But then when I'm with my family, it's phones away, let's go. Like, what can we do? Do you want to do a bike or football, or are we going for a walk? Are we watching movies? Are we playing cards? Whatever it is, you got to stay in the now. I can't put my mind elsewhere when I'm with the family, no chance.
Yeah, and I feel like nowadays there's so many more distractions.
Aye.
Like everything's a distraction, and trying to balance that because it's important, for work, for jobs, for if you're running a small business, like as we'll probably talk about soon with yours, and everything is quite online now, and it's trying to differentiate. Like, you don't want your kids to see you on your phone all the time, but it's a necessary evil. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to lose who you are as well. You want to grow. You got goals to set and things like that, and that's one of the ways that you can sort of achieve that. So, trying to put that away and be in the now is increasingly harder as sort of technology evolves as well.
100%. It sounds easy.
It does, yeah. On
but
paper,
it's really not.
Yeah,
it's really not.
And
I remember having to leave my phone in the house, or leave my phone in the car, or just turn it off, and even that's hard because again, you weren't too used to it. You were like accessible, or you were, I'll get this done, but then you got to try. And I've messed up millions of times, but just trying to stay in the now with your kids, I think it's huge.
Yeah, big time.
It's huge.
Can you think of a time that potentially you're like, I guess you had a bit of self-reflection too, like you say, you stuffed up every now and then. I know you're someone who's really big on learning from your mistakes. Was there ever a time where I could identify like, okay, I'm not doing well with this. How am I going to fix it? Is there anything that sticks out to you like that?
It actually really does, mate. And it coincided with my health, and I was looking to retire from football because my body was breaking down.
Yeah.
I was 36 at the time. And I remember I was tired.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it before, but to the point where I could have just napped. You know what I mean? And then my health wasn't great. I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't doing much.
Yeah.
And I was a dad, and I thought, this is hard.
Yeah,
I gave it all these excuses. And I remember sitting on the sofa, and my daughter, it was only my daughter at the time, Ollie wasn't born yet, and she came up and she wanted to play. And I remember on my phone, because I had a crappy email from a parent or someone, and I was like, Harper, can you just go and play with this? And I think I gave her like an iPad or something.
Yeah.
I said, can you play with that? Daddy just needs to finish this. And I finished what I'd done, and then 20 minutes later I'd woke up. So I'd obviously napped on the sofa, and I went, no way. I said, I am not doing this. And I remember going, I'm not doing that ever again.
Yeah.
So I sorted myself out health-wise, ate better, slept better when I could.
Yeah.
And just tried to be better. And then as soon as that happened, as soon as she wanted to play again, I swore the next 10 times she asked, I was going to say yes, no matter what. Yeah. And it sort of got into that habit then after that. So I do remember it, mate.
Yeah, it's very habitual. I know it's something that you can put it in place where you said, like you said, staying off your phone, things like that. But I think that moment that you have, because I feel like I've had a moment like that too, with everything that I'm doing and on my phone. And as it's coming out of your mouth, you catch it and you're just like, that's so shit.
Oh, that sucks, man.
And you get that feeling where you're like, because I've done that too. I said, I'll be on an email. Same thing. Like, you get an email that puts you in a really shitty state of mind. And, they're things that you probably don't need to look at. Like you said, when you're at work, you're at work. That's when you deal with work. And, you might catch yourself, you'll open an email and then it'll get you annoyed. And then all of a sudden you're getting annoyed at your kids. And then you just catch yourself. You're like, what am I doing? Like, this is so stupid to let my feelings affect them.
100%. And they'll look at you, mate. You'll know. Every dad and mum will know. It
cuts through your way.
And you're their hero.
Yeah.
Imagine, and if you think of your hero, whoever it is, sporting, whatever, even someone in the past, then imagine they looked at you like that.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck. And that's your hero. And we forget sometimes.
Yeah.
That moment. And then Harper's probably got another hero now. She's getting older, but at the time, me and her mum were her hero. So I remember it, man. I was sitting on the sofa. I remember it big time. I thought, nah, not again, wee man.
Yeah, that's so good though. And I think a lot of dads will hear that and it will resonate and go, I've had that moment too. And those are the moments where like you can pivot and change. I think if we can identify those moments and be like, how did that make me feel? That made me feel like shit.
Oh.
I don't want to do that again. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care this. And, you know, it's a testament to you obviously putting your body first, because I've seen you, okay? I've seen you out there with 17-year-olds training, and you're kicking their ass. You're like, and so when
good.
people say, oh, you know, but you're getting old, whatever, I literally look at, there was a video that went viral, and I'll probably clip it up and put it over if I do this as a snippet.
Yeah.
You were training with the team that you previously coached, and you were fucking destroying them.
Pretty much.
And I was like, I even remember seeing that because I fell into the trap of it. And I play obviously just a bit of futsal now. I've kind of given up football altogether, and I just want a bit of a break until my daughters, like, they've just started playing now, so I can feel the itch coming back now. And I remember thinking like, oh, you know, I'm too old. I'm not going to be able to do it. And then I see you training with NPL. So for those who don't know, NPL is like top league in Queensland, and you're killing them. And I'm like, I can't use age as a fucking excuse anymore. Like, that doesn't matter. And I think you are a perfect testament to age doesn't exist. Like, it's a mindset, really. And it sounds funny, it sounds cliche, but it is. You know?
I think it is, mate. And I mean, obviously, people are going to go, well, it actually does because it's scientific. And blah,
fuck
blah.
those people.
But come on, man. Like, if you put your mind to something and you stay healthy, fit, and you want to do it, you just go and do it.
Yeah.
I just hate excuses, mate. Like, I'm massive on that. There's hurdles and there's obstacles and there's things that can get in the way, but excuses, nah, get rid of them and you're halfway there.
Yeah. And I guess on that too, leading into sort of the next thing, and I always get super excited about asking this question because I think we get the best answers from it, and we get a lot of introspective stuff and stuff that's different that we can pick and choose. But in terms of fatherhood, what was a piece of advice that you either received or you've sort of developed that you would give to sort of a young dad that you think is really effective to help dads in those sort of, not just early days, but, you know, even as you leading into that sort of teenage or later adolescence, that it's helped you massively as a dad?
Yeah, great question. I reckon I definitely got told this, but then as the months, weeks, or whatever years go on, you've kind of got better and developed it even better. And I think it's things are caught, not taught.
Ooh, I like that.
So like you can tell your kids do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, and you know, but they'll catch what you do.
Yes.
Way more than I think you can
Mate,
teach
I
them.
love that expression, yeah.
So like if you want them to brush their teeth, then you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
You want them to eat healthy, you eat healthy. You want them to go for a run. That I do with my boy now.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have went, I couldn't say to Ollie, go for a run wee man, go for a 5K or whatever. But if I do it with him, he's going to do it, mate.
Yeah.
You know, and he feels the benefits from it. So that's been huge for me, mate. And, you know, you get better at it. Like, you don't want your kids to go on the phone. Well, don't you go on your bloody phone?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Come on, man. Like, it's, and so, yeah, that's a cracker for me, and I'll continue forever, I think, with that one.
Absolutely. And I think, too, having that mindset keeps you accountable as well. You know, like, we're very much the same in that. And to be fair, my partner, Kia, is the one that usually gets me ramped up and says, no, we're going for a family run. And I'm not out here trying to be like a bloody endurance runner or something like that. But, you know, you're exactly right. The caught, not taught mentality, that's a fantastic expression, because you're right. You can tell them, oh, you need to be healthy. You need to do this. You know, you need to eat your vegetables. But if you're sitting there sort of moving your broccoli to the side, your kids are going to go, well, I don't want to eat that either. Why would I want to eat that if dad's not eating it? And then that almost promotes you to do it. So like now, you know, when I get home, I could sit in front of the TV. I want to sit in front of the TV.
Same.
100% every single time.
Yeah.
I can't name an afternoon that I don't come home and go, man, I'd love to just sit in front of the TV right now.
Man.
But I look at my daughters and I'm like, no, not for them. I don't care how tired I am. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to go for a jog. And then you see them, like Skylar, we get home. I'm riding my bike. Oh, okay. You don't want to watch Peppa Pig or anything? No. We're going bike riding,
Just
Dad.
seen you do it, mate.
And I'm like, this is a huge win. I posted a video. Well, I haven't posted a video yet about parenting is the perfect example of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So you could sit there and go, you know, oh, we're going to have sort of like, you know, we'll watch TV. Daddy's tired today. But then, you know, in the future, you're going to see them go, I'm tired. I'm going to sit down and watch TV. And you're like, What have I done?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit in my room on my own.
Yeah.
Remember that time you were on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So
have you ever heard the term living room families?
no, but
Okay.
I think I like it
Yeah.
already.
So it was this sort of it was on a podcast or something, and they explained it. But a lot of kids back in the day were bedroom kids, so they would be sent to their room. They do that. They do this, whatever. But now there's this thing coming out where kids are wanting to come out and hang out in the living room, and they're becoming living room families or family room families.
Right.
And I think ever since I heard that, I was like, that's what I want. I want my kids to be able to be around me and be able to hang out, talk, do stuff as a family. And I feel like indirectly, you're someone who really promotes that.
100%.
In that,
I love that.
Yeah.
We don't shut the kids' doors, man. The
Yeah.
bedrooms don't get shut. Like, it's just like, don't need to yet.
yeah,
You know? My daughter a wee bit when, she's getting changed and all that. She's coming for that age.
different
It's
scenario.
Totally different.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I'm all for that. And we literally, when we were buying a house, you're trying to get a house, and a lot of people want a big house and it looks nice and blah.
Yeah.
We wanted a decent size of land,
Yeah,
and it's not big, mate. But just a small house,
yeah,
and the rooms were pretty small because they don't want to be inside the small
Yeah,
room. They want to be with us, So, that was massive, and I've got to admit, Lizzie was very good for that. My wife to start with, she's all into that, and I back it up 100%.
yeah. I feel like you and your wife are a fantastic team.
Yeah, we've definitely. I think again with the football, I think you only get out if you're a good team. You do well individually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's me and Lizzie. Like, we always think if we do well as a team, then we'll both do well individually.
Yeah,
And the same with the kids.
yeah,
If we do well as a four, individually we'll all do well.
yeah.
And that's been a big thing for us too, mate. And
No,
I can
that's
see that
awesome.
with you too, mate. I love it. Absolutely
Yeah,
love
and
it.
I think it's very important, and I think too, having that. I don't think parenting is ever 50-50, but it's always a teamwork. Never 50-50, but a teamwork. If someone on your team isn't doing that well, someone's got to pick up that for that person.
Yes.
And then vice versa, you know what I mean? And, Kira and I always get home and say, like, how are you feeling? Oh, and we saw this once again on like a video or a podcast. It's like, I'm cooked. I got about 30% in me. It's like, well, the other person's got to make up that 70%.
Yeah, that's
and then
cool.
it's always works in like ebbs and flows.
Mate, we've done the same.
Yeah,
Well, I must
there
have
you
seen
go.
the same thing.
I think
'cause,
so, yeah.
Mate, that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's me at 30, so.
Yeah. I feel you, dude. I feel you, man. It's so funny like that. With obviously your love of football and I'm sort of the same with this. Do you, because I know your daughter does dancing.
Yep.
You're a dance dad.
I am, man.
How is that sort of like, did you ever want like your daughter, did you ever sort of go, hey, I was pretty good at football. Did you want to give it a go? Or
I'm not going to lie, 100%.
Yeah. Okay,
And
cool.
I also thought, I've seen some girls play,
Yeah.
and they get to play for Liverpool,
Yeah,
and Bayern
yeah,
Munich,
yeah.
and the Matildas,
the pathways now are incredible.
and they're not like, it's not like, it is different to the boys' game. It's
Yeah.
a lot more difficult to reach those teams and those levels in the boys' game, just purely because of numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, I could maybe watch Harper play at the Bernabeu or something.
Yeah.
Get free tickets.
There you go.
I started a thing, Matt. I started a thing on a Sunday morning. It was called Funbelievable Football.
Yeah.
Back when Ollie was 3.5 or
I think I
something.
remember seeing this in the early days because
Yes.
this sort of transitioned into your business as well, right?
Yeah, spot on. So
yeah.
literally, he wanted to play down the park, and I went down to the school where there's another little, high school down near me.
Yeah.
And a couple of his mates wanted to play. Then they told their mates. Ended up with like 16 kids.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, and the parents are trying to give me money. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. And they were like, oh, please, Graeme, you're doing us a good thing. So
Yeah.
it was like a tenner each or something, and it would pay for our Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'd like, after it, we'd just go for breakfast or go to the beach or something.
Yeah,
And, Harper was there, mate. I bought her boots. I
Yep.
got her a kit.
Yep.
She started,
Yeah.
but then she was doing cartwheels instead of kicking the ball. And she was dancing when someone
And
scored,
you're
not
sitting
her.
there, you're like, what do I do here?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if she's going to like this.
Yeah,
Nah, mate, to be fair, she went into dancing and she loves it.
Yeah.
She just, and I see the passion she's got in dance that I had in football,
Yeah.
and I love it.
That's incredible.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I love that. And have you found you've sort of, because I know as coaches, well, I say you're more of a coach than I am, but you always, no matter what it is, you always want to know you want to know enough about whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So I've often found Skylar loves gymnastics. She does football as well, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Good girl.
But I've sat up on YouTube just being like, okay, how do I teach Skylar gymnastics? Because I know nothing about gymnastics. Have you found yourself like looking up like, okay, how do I learn some basics of dance or something?
Do you know what? It's a great question.
Yeah.
And I tried one of the dancing myself and I fell. And I thought,
yeah, probably shouldn't do this
I'm
anymore.
not going to teach Harper anything about dance. So, but what I have done is use the mentality side, the resilience side.
Yeah, awesome.
The training side and the dedication part that I had to do.
Yeah.
And I try and teach her that part.
Yeah.
And then when she's like, I don't know, maybe she's made a mistake on stage or she's injured, especially. She's actually broke her toe not long ago. So I've been really good to support her in that because that's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same emotions. It's the same way to try and get back fit again. So I've just done that. But anything technical, Matson, absolutely no chance in me. I need at least 5 beers before I dance.
Yeah, dude. I remember seeing Skylar goes, Daddy, can you do a handstand? And I was like, yeah, of course I can do a handstand. I haven't done one in 12 years, but we'll see how I did a handstand. Fell, I like overdid it.
Of course.
And then of course, so my daughter's first example of me doing gymnastics is me falling on my face in like when she did junior gymnastics, the parents would get involved. I did this in front of like parents.
Oh, it was there?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and all these parents were just like, who is this idiot? Like, what is wrong with this dude? And I was sitting there like, oh man, I need to chill out on this shit, hey?
Yeah, that's class.
Oh, dude, I know. Now, Ollie, on the other hand, does he love football?
Now he does.
Yes.
To be fair, I remember he was into talking about gymnastics. He's actually very good at it.
Yeah.
And he went to gymnastics and he done bar work and he was doing all that kind of stuff. And he actually loved basketball.
Oh, really?
But I did tell him, I said, I've seen your dad. He's 5 foot nothing.
Height isn't in our family genes, my man. I'm so sorry.
So I was like, basketball, mate. I said, I think you should leave that for the Americans.
Yeah.
But look, he slowly just fell in love with it, mate, to be honest. And he's a real student of the game. Like, he watches it. Yeah. Like, I'll get up in the morning.
Caught, not taught.
That's it, mate.
Yeah,
and he'll sit and watch it and he'll be analysing it himself. And I don't do too much.
Yeah.
I don't say too much. And even now, people say, oh, do you train him every night? And I'm like, only if he asks.
Yeah.
But we will go home and play head tennis today. Like, he's choking for it today.
Yeah,
so it's a Friday night thing.
Oh, that's mad.
So he's really enjoying it now, mate. And it's really cool to see. I just got to hone in sometimes and go, right, okay, this is still it's his career.
Yeah.
And I've gave advice to loads of dads before who've got a son playing football. So I need to take my own advice now.
Yeah, that's very true. And I always find it's harder sometimes to take the advice that you give than give the advice. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Do you feel like, because it's very interesting. I was coached by my old man for a lot of the time, and especially through juniors, he was a junior coach. But then I got to seniors, and obviously, you kind of have to, as a dad, he sort of stood back a little bit and was like, no, you got to learn your own now and learn different coaches. How do you think are you going to probably, of course you'll be involved, but how do you look at, do you want others to coach your son? Like, you know what, do you know what question?
I know exactly what you
mean. Hard to word it, but I know being someone like yourself who is incredible footballer, even better coach, to sort of let the reins go and go, no, you need to learn from someone else. You'll always have me, but you also need to learn other voices. How do you think you're going to go with that?
Yeah, and you're spot on. I'm going through it right now. So last year I actually took his under-8 team.
Yeah.
But I was very aware of it. So what I done was I done the training part, but I never done the game at the weekend.
Okay, yeah.
It's because I want to just be a dad and go and watch. Yeah. But also, I don't want him looking for approval or, and all that kind of stuff within a game. Because I think in training, it's okay. You would have went through it yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It's more that game pressure. And even like if I subbed them too much or not enough, what do other parents think? You're biased to your own
kid. It's so hard to balance.
You can't win or lose. No. I mean, you can't really win in any situation. Yeah. So, this year he's got a new coach. And to be honest, my son, I don't even go to training.
Yeah.
There's two things for it. One's obviously for Ollie, unless he wants me there. If he says, Dad, can you please come? I'll definitely go.
Yeah.
And two, I do watch it sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, what are they teaching? I'm like, why are they saying that? But I have to let it go. He's only young.
Absolutely,
he's only young.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, and I think you gotta have the mentality of, especially like now with like, young coaches coming through, like they need time to learn as well. And I think that's what a lot of parents don't realize too, is a lot of these guys, like if you got like an 18, 19-year-old coach, they're still learning 100%. A lot. Like that's a lot. Like not only are they learning how to coach, to deal with kids when you're young is incredibly hard. And then to have that pressure of feeling like parents, like I know the Raw, not I think ages ago, but I always heard that they locked parents out for that reason. And I heard horror stories of like parents being on the fence, being like, oi. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, what are we doing there?
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much, mate. And look, I get it. Like, it's really nice weather over here, so it's nice to go and sit and watch your kid play and train. And it's a bit, you see parents, it's very sociable. I remember being a TD at a club and you were doing trials. And you're doing all these trials and you're picking kids on what you think is the best and who's not and whatever. And you're pretty close every time, you know?
Yeah.
And parents would come up devastated their kid never made a team, but it wasn't for the kid.
Yeah,
it was because of the parent group.
Yeah,
but I go to their house for wine, and then we have breakfast, and then we watch our kids play, and I'm like, far out, man. So I was like, yeah, you're trying to. So I get it as well. I get where they're coming from, but yeah, you got to step away. But look, the thing is, mate, you've had a lot of coaches. I've had a lot of coaches, and I think out of 10 coaches in your career, there might be 1 or 2 that you should actually re-listen to.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's about 6 that are just nice. They won't do any harm. Yeah. But they might help you fall in love with the game a little bit. Yeah. And then there's probably 2 or 3 that you should never, ever, ever listen to, you know?
That's so true. And I mean, I've had coaches in the past where, you know, as an adult, you sort of reflect back and you go, you know, that guy, even though he was a bit clueless, he was also the only guy that wanted to step into the job. And, you know, they probably did their best. So at the time, you're sort of pissed off, but then you're also like, you know, he's the one that wanted to put their hand up and do it. So,
and if he cares... Yeah, come on, that's half the battle.
Exactly.
And Ollie's got that, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's got a guy that cares and he's trying to improve all the time. You can see it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy at the moment with all that. But as long as Ollie's happy and he comes home, how is it? And he always says good, he's smiling, he's playing with his mates. Yeah. So that as a dad, that just makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, exactly right, man. And I think also on that too, like, you know, as you said, caught not taught, the kids will see. Like if you're going up and you're losing it because so-and-so's not on the team, like, I can only imagine how that your kid, like your kid feels and what they see, and you know if you do get your way because of the yelling and screaming, like what are your kids going to learn?
Pointless.
Exactly.
And that's that resilient part. You know, I actually like it if he doesn't play or
doesn't make it
or something, because then you go, well, what are you going to do?
Well, I think that's the other thing around sport that I think we do forget. You know, we do look at like pathways and careers and you know obviously money and things like that. That's obviously there, and everyone wants their kid to be the best, but the most important lessons, that I learned in football have nothing to do with football.
Spot on, mate.
It's playing with people that you don't necessarily agree with, being under the supervision of someone who is giving you information that you're like, I don't think that's right, but I need to deal with this. And all those things get transitioned into like work. You know, like how many people, not here, not at our workspace, maybe a little bit, but we'll see. But how many people do you work with on like a daily basis where you're like, I don't really agree with this guy, but it's a team. I'm part of this team. I got to make this work.
That's it. You find a solution.
Yeah, and I don't think I think we lose what sport is for kids. We get so caught up in like all this extra stuff, and we don't actually look at what sport is. Because some of the best people I know come from sporting backgrounds, and they're not even playing the sport anymore.
That's it, and it builds all that. I totally agree, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So one thing I did want to ask around now, obviously taking a little bit of a break from coaching in sort of the club system and focusing more on your coaching program and your business and things like that. How do you think, because I know you posted a picture the other day around like being able to spend more time with family now.
Yeah.
How excited are you now to sort of sit back and go, I just get to focus on my team, like my family team? How are you looking at the future in terms of that now?
It actually lights me up. Yeah. It lights me up, mate, because...
You look very happy.
Thank you.
You look very happy.
Thank you. Yeah. That's because I'm sitting with you, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks.
But that's... mate, it's like... It's the best thing.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're going through it or you've been through it, you can't actually explain. Like, going home and getting your kids running up to cuddle you.
Yeah.
And kiss you and ask you how your day's been.
It beats everything.
Like, you go to any football club, no one does that. They shake your hand because, like, they either like you or they feel they have to.
Yeah.
But they don't love you. They don't want to kiss you. Like, you know what I mean? And so, I'm buzzing for it, mate. And football's a love and a passion of mine, and there'll be something that happens probably soon. You never know. In football, it's very fluid, but at the moment, I am loving it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it.
I think that's fantastic. And I think, too, it is always you know, as someone who, you know, yourself, you love, I know for a fact you love football more than anything. To have something go higher than football, it shows how much family and all that sort of stuff. Like to have someone like you who's been pro, semi-pro, peel all back those layers and go, that was all great, but my family is everything. Yeah.
That's it. Actually, and you never, when you were single and when did I start playing? 7-year-old, I think. I think my cousin wanted to be a goalkeeper and I was into karate, mate. You wouldn't believe it. I loved Bruce Lee.
Makes sense. I've seen some aerial attacks from you, so it makes sense.
I loved Enter the Dragon or whatever it was, and skateboarding, mate. I was into skateboarding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now I can't even do it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same, man. I remember.
So
yeah, dude. My fear is like I don't want to get injured anymore.
That's
too.
it.
And skateboarding's there, but
and I definitely would.
Oh, absolutely.
I couldn't even do that.
My knees are cooked. I can't even. Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah.
But I was I remember playing back then, and then I fell in love with the ball and. All I knew was football, mate. Like football took me around the world. It brought me here to Australia, and I never knew what that would be like. Obviously, you love your mum, dad, my brother, and that family, but this different love that just happens. It was like different parts of your heart opened up, and that you can't get away from that. Man. It's just the best feeling. So, it's overtook football, and I always will.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. Also, as a dad, and, you know, I spoke about it with your daughter, obviously finding their passion and things like that. How have you found, like, you spoke about when you see your kid find passion in something, you know, what is that sort of feeling like? Because I know it's really tough to put into words and everyone has a different approach to it and it might not be something that you're into, but that feeling of when your kid finds their passion and seeking out their passion, like, I guess nurturing that, like, do you find you really take pride in like nurturing your kid's passion like that as well?
I really do.
Yeah.
Because I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I got mine early doors, my passion. So it's like to think, and I really feel it a lot, even at the school. Yeah. Other mums and dads that I speak to and their kid doesn't have it. Yeah. It even hits home even more. Yeah. And that's fine as well. They'll find theirs whenever the time's right. But at the moment, it's really sick to like, because I know the emotions, I know what they're going through, and I know the drive and the desire. And my daughter's unbelievable, mate. She just wants to get to dance half an hour early. Yeah. If she's not half an hour early, she feels she's late. Yeah. And she wants to stay late, and she wants to go again and again and again. And even if she's sore, she'll do it again. And I mean, she done a dance the other day on a broken toe. That's crazy. She wanted to strap it. That's so cool. And my wife's like, nah, don't. I'm like, it's only the little toe, babe. Yeah. I've been there.
Just let it do it. Just let it do it.
And then what? If it's sore, she'll learn from it anyway. But we would never put her in jeopardy. Like, we made sure it was strapped, mate. Like, it was proper strapped. And there was a couple of moves that she wasn't allowed to do. Yeah. So I spoke to the teacher. Because I've been through it, mate. And because I know that passion. And to take that away from her, even for that moment on stage. Yeah. Yeah, I would have broke her, and I don't. Yeah, I do understand that. Yeah. You know, and that's cool. That's
why I was like, because like you said, you know, it is tough for some parents sometimes, and I know, you know, even when you're really into something and your kid looks at it and goes, nah, not really into that, and it does hurt your pride a little bit. But I think what the bigger picture here is like, it's not about the thing; it's about finding the passion. And if you're passionate about something, and they find the equal amount of passion for something else, I think that's what all parents want. That's as a parent, that's your goal, is to just help them find their passion, even if it's not your passion.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes it's even like Ollie loves football at the moment. It might be something else soon, but I actually really love the dance part. Because I'm learning something different. You'll be the same in gymnastics.
Yeah, 100%.
You're actually learning something different, and a different vibe and a different atmosphere and different skill sets, and I'm like, that's actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah, like, I guess harnessing that, and I spoke about it on a previous podcast, like harnessing a love of learning. It's like when we think of learning, we always sort of associate it with academics. It's not always academics. Like, you know, I don't want to get to the age of like, you know, I'm 30 now. I don't want to get to the age where I go, I'm 30, I'm finished learning. I don't want to learn any more skills. You know what I mean? I always want to learn new skills. And I think seeing Skylar into gymnastics now is like, you know, I'm out there now, as I said, doing handstands. God knows why I'm doing that. But even I'm learning new skills now. And I think as an adult learning new skills, like, you're just sharpening iron, right? Like, you're just making yourself sharper and sharper. And I think your kids benefit from that as well.
I think it's that what you said, that love of learning. I think that's huge. Yeah. So instead of telling people or copy or they've got to memorize something, like, it doesn't work, mate.
Nah.
And then they'll take that into adult life. That's all we want. Like you said, keep them safe, find their passion, when they're 18, 19, hopefully you've done enough that they can go and live a great life and keep you in mind at times.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And sort of on that as well, talking about sort of wins and stuff like that, do you have sort of like a dad win that sort of stands out to you where you're like, above all else, and I know there's plenty of wins, right? But is there that one thing that you sort of go back to every time and you go, that's my why? That one win is why I do this every single day?
Yeah.
It's a tough question, man. And you know what?
Question.
I said this to Stainsy. I love when people have to think about it. Because if you have to think about it, it means you have so many of them.
There've been so many.
Whereas if you're someone like, oh, it's just this thing, you're like, hang on, man, like, how did you know that so quick? Like, unless you thought about it, obviously. But whenever people pause and think, I always get really excited because I know you're going through like the paperwork in your head, you know?
Yeah, there's so many times where you're like, I don't know, your kid does something or says something and it just lights you up and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think with my son, I think two things come to mind, and it happens a lot, to be fair, which is cool. One, he says, Dad, you know what? You're my best mate.
Dude, that is so
and I'm like,
sick.
Okay, I'm not just his dad.
Yeah.
Because that's all.
You're
that's
so
always
much
going to
more.
happen.
You're everything.
Like to be a best mate to someone is like pretty sick.
Yeah, that is unreal.
And he does his vision. He done a vision board. I mean,
dude,
the
that
guy's
is
a legend.
so mad.
So he done a vision.
Dude, caught not taught. Fyfey.
I know.
That is. That's the title of the episode, brother.
I love it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He done a vision board, and he had me. I didn't even know where he found the photo.
He had a photo of you on the vision
playing
board.
in
Bro,
England.
that would have done me. I would have broken
down.
down.
Mate, that was me. So he had me on a vision board playing football in England because he wants to play in Europe. And I'm playing, and there's a crowd, and he must have got the stand where it was full because I think the other stand wasn't.
Yeah.
But you know, there's maybe 20,000 people there. And he's got the photo of me on his vision board, and I thought that's pretty cool, man. And
that's so fucking
that was
cool,
huge.
Man.
That was huge, and even like little things. You know, it happened literally this morning. I'm sitting on one side of the sofa having a coffee before work.
Yeah.
Friday's my only morning that I get to sit with the family before I come. So I get everyone up, make sure everyone's up, and I sit with them. And he's on the other side of the sofa, and within 10 seconds. He's right beside me with his leg over my leg. And I know it's a small thing.
Yeah, but you're like,
he could have sat over on the other side, you know? So there's those little moments where I go, shit, yeah, I fucking love that.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, that's so sick.
And with Harper, it's funny you mentioned that there's been so many. She's such a little angel.
Yeah.
She's having her moments now, but she's an angel. But this week I was supposed to pick her up on Thursday.
Yeah.
From dance, she finished a bit early. And what we do is, we go and get popcorn from the cinema.
Yeah.
We don't watch a movie. She just loves the popcorn.
But how good's the popcorn, bro?
Loves it, mate. It's so nice.
You can't find any, like, popcorn hits different from the movies.
Yeah, and we make sure the guy now knows. He goes, get the freshest one, because he knows, right? And so, and then we either walk down to the Thompson Beach area or go and see the turtles. There's a couple of little areas.
Yeah.
And she chats, I listen. Normal when it comes to girls and boys.
Yeah.
So she chat, and it's so cool. But this week I had a meeting after school here, and I told my wife, and she went, "Oh, Harper will be fine, don't worry." And she told Harper, and she cried.
Oh, really? Which negative, but also you're kind of like,
do you know what I mean? So I went,
actually,
then, like, although she cried, and I would never want that with her kids, but I just felt, fuck, she actually really loves
this small thing, a part of my week.
That Thursday.
Yeah.
So, I suppose if I had to say a couple, they would be two that really stand out at the moment.
Yeah.
Mate.
Oh man, that's incredible. Yeah. And I guess, like, obviously not I'm conscious that it's Friday afternoon and we've been going for it. Yeah. Okay. But how important do you think it is? And this is a personal question because I'm sort of transitioning into Skylar's a bit older now. Summer's now at the point where she's a little person as well. She's 2. How
2
important?
and 6, is it?
2 and 4.
2 and 4.
So 2-year gap. So man, absolute tornado at the moment. But how have you found the importance of having one-on-one time with your kids as well? Not just having that, like, I guess, you know, you've got your family time and then it's usually you with both of them. Mm-hmm. But how have you found the importance of that one-on-one time as well?
Man, I think it's huge,
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing that we are really conscious of, and that's what I would do. Like, I could go to Ollie's football, and most of the time, I think around the world, a dad would go to the son's football, and the mum would pick up the daughter from dance.
It's very traditional. I know what you mean.
You know, and because she'll speak to the mums, other dance mums, and all that. But we've been very conscious of doing that, and we've done it for a long time, to be honest. And could it be better? Yes. Is there times where we mess up, or I probably mess up? Yes. But having that one-on-one time, like this, even like the songs that me and Ollie listen to in the car.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of you
guys. So different.
It's so funny,
different
yeah,
to Ollie and his mum.
Yeah,
You know, like, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
that's our time. And then same with Happer. You know, we'll do the popcorn thing, or we'll go for a walk. Like, she loves going for walks, or whatever it is, shopping.
Yeah.
And I'm not a great shopper, Matt,
I know what you mean.
as you can tell. I
That's
just
same
take
here, dude. I think I just realized I'm wearing the same hoodie as I wore last week, so that shows where my cupboard's at.
Brilliant, mate. And I've got a free marathon top. Yeah, so I get it, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one-on-one time, I think there's the family dynamics. But again, I think we spoke about it earlier. If you're good individually, you'll be good as a pair, as a 3, and as a 4,
and then as a team.
And I think it all just blends really well together.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
And you've got to work on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, again, it's chapters, and you got to grow together. I think either grow apart or grow together.
100%.
So let's try and grow together.
And I know my sort of self-development journey was there was a lot of me that was resistant towards it, because there was, you know, and you would probably experience this being a man as well. You hear about, you know, the journaling, the things like that, the setting gratitude stuff. And you know, on paper, you're just like, I don't want to do this. But I've sort of adopted that. And I know you're someone who's really big on that too.
I do it,
and I think as guys, we really should be doing that sort of stuff. I don't think we do it enough. And, you know, I'm trying to promote it as much as I can. And having people like you who, you know, are such a big figure in local football here, you know, and such a good role model for kids, seeing you get on that, you know, the self-development stuff, it only positively affects everyone in your family.
100%.
Like, your kids get the best version of you, your wife gets the best version of you. No one wants to be a deadbeat dad.
Nah.
We said this last week with Stacey. No one wants a deadbeat dad anymore. Those days are done.
100%.
And the best way to do that is doing those self-development things. As cringy as some people probably think they are effective.
And I thought they were.
Yeah.
I'm with you, mate. And I've got a book beside my bed, and I write down the 3 things I was grateful for that day.
Perfect.
And it doesn't take long. And a lot of times it's similar.
Yeah.
But you know what? It gets it out there, and it just makes things like, I suppose it's the most important things that you write down.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And you're like, all the
there.
white noise, all the other stuff that goes on in life.
Yeah.
Does it really matter if you're not happy with your family? Does it? I don't think it does.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I love that about you as well. And I you know, and I've done this thing where I'm starting to post my journal entries on too, because I think the stigma around like journaling and stuff like that is like, dear diary today. It's not like that.
It's not the movies, man.
It's the gratefuls. It's the what are you excited about, and then the goals for the day. I think every day when you wake up and you have a goal that you want to achieve, how big, small, it could be hanging the washing out. I think my goal I wrote down today was hang washing out, and people are going to look at that like, what the fuck, dude? But I'm like, no, if I can do that, I'll feel good. And if I feel good, my kids, my fiance gets the best version of me. And I think that's the best thing.
Mate, one of the best things I do, I swear to God, I could paint the whole house, cut the grass, I don't know, clean the dishes, whatever it is. But if I don't take those bins out, mate, I can literally do nothing all week.
Oh, mate, I'm the same.
On a Wednesday night, take the bins out.
Yep.
Get those bins out.
Yeah.
I'm like, no worries. So if I get that done, happy wife.
Yeah,
happy,
dude, funny enough, it's funny, I was up editing till 11:30 last night. I was like, man, I'm tired. And then I laid in bed. I was like, I fucking didn't take the bin out. And of course, we got to go down to the bin chute because we're in an apartment. So I put my Crocs on. I've got my short Broncos pants on and my singlet on. And I'm like, God, I hope no one sees me. And but I got up, and even that little thing, I was like, fuck yeah, I did that. Cool. Woke up this morning. I was like, thank God I got the bins out.
That's it, mate.
Being kind to your future self.
I've been there.
Yeah,
every week, every Wednesday night.
Yeah. Now, before we finish up, Fyfey, obviously, I know that a lot of people in Brisbane are gonna listen to this, especially in the football community. But I know you're not starting, but you're really taking, I think, FFA Fyfey's football academy to the next level. You want to make it. You know, I'll let you talk about it because I love it. I love what you're doing, and I love the ideas around it, and just I think you build a massive community, and I think the community is such an important part of just for dads too, because I know a lot of dads, you know, take their kids to your academy, and that's where they get to chat, they get to talk, and it's really important. So
it is. It's huge, mate. And I'm like most dads, you're a bit time poor at times, and to build the coaching side and the development side of the kids it's not easy, but I do mornings before school.
Yeah.
But now I've freed up some afternoons. There's an opportunity to grow that even more.
Yeah.
Holiday clinics and little things like that where it literally is just giving back.
Yeah. Getting the kids off screens, man. Just getting them out there. Yeah.
I love it. And coming down, and you know, there's even the fact where there's some mums whose dad's maybe not in the picture.
Yeah.
And the kids come in and you become like a mentor for them a little bit. And because I went through that, like my dad left when I was 9.
Yeah, okay.
So I also think
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I think that was another reason why I want to be the best dad possible.
Dude, that's incredible. That that actually, because I was, and this is a reflection on you, I was under the impression that you had an amazing supportive dad, because I was like, who taught this guy how to be a dad?
Nah, mate, he left when I was 9, and
holy shit.
I had a stepdad, came in when we were like 11, 12, and he became a friend.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still I still help him, he still helps me, but I always thought, and that was what, it was funny because my son's coming up for 9.
Yeah.
And I was 9.
And now you're looking at him like, holy shit. Like,
and I'm like, how the heck, how could you leave your kids?
Mate.
Like, I just can't fathom it.
I can't fathom it either. It blows my mind.
Unbelievable.
But
it made you who you are.
Exactly.
And you can use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
Or you can grow from it and go, do you know what? I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there no matter what.
Dude, that's incredible.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, and you know what's cool about this, and I hate looking at the when they have the glass of wine and they keep pouring water into the wine, and it like makes the wine turn into water, and you're like, this is what not passing on generational trauma. It mate, like you could have gone the complete opposite direction, and now you've got 2 kids who have a fantastic dad, and you can only imagine what Ollie's going to be like as a dad having a role model like you.
You'd hope so.
I know so,
I hope
brother.
he's better,
and that's the thing, and you're going to be there being like, because, most great dads turn to great granddads, and, you're going to be there being like, you got to show up every day. I'm still going to beat him at football. Oh, hell yeah. You probably will, man. That's why, like, 60 years old, Fyfe would be out playing NPL, and I'll be like, dude, you need to retire, brother. Oh, man. Yeah, but so with, where can we find you on Instagram with the Football Academy?
Yeah, it's Fyfey Football Coaching on Instagram. I've got an actual coaching resource book.
Love that.
Coming out as well, mate.
Yep.
I'm just looking at, I've printed off one version, but I need a better copy on the hard cover.
Yep.
So that'll be out soon, just to help all coaches.
Yep.
Especially on game day. I think there's a lot of resources for training.
Yep.
And drills, and that'll come as well. But to really help them on game day, so they can, again, it's to help the players more.
Yeah.
To be more clear for players.
Yeah.
And it links back to dad. You want to be clear with your kids, and it all kind of links together. So
yeah, dude, I love it.
It's called Winning Edge.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And we were talking before, we'll do some social media stuff for the academy as well. And we'll get that going. Get the socials buzzing.
For that. I'm buzzing.
Dude,
thank you so much.
I always tell people, man, I am like an addict for social media. I love it. I love analyzing it. It's like my autistic trait. Like I'm just set on it. So when people like give me the ideas, I'm just like, I just take it and run. It must be my like ADHD, man. Cause like as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, dude, I have so many ideas already.
I love that.
Yeah.
But even this new Instagram page I've got with Winning Edge, I'm not sure how to start it, because the book's not out yet, but it's coming. Yeah. So man, I'll hit you up.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm the dude. I'm the guy. I will. Yeah, very very excited, because I genuinely love what you do, man, and I love you as a person too. You're someone. I always am so happy when I working here, that I'm surrounded by such amazing people, and you're one of those people, and it's fantastic to bounce ideas off and just have a chat, man. Like having a chat, being zoned in like this about dad. Like I've taken that court not taught is just. That's ringing in my head right now, bro.
You've,
like
so
actually
good.
Like fully. So I hope a lot of other people get that. But other than obviously the academy, where can people find you on Instagram?
It's just Graeme Fyfe.
Graeme Fyfe. Love you. Of course it is. Fyfey, mate, I appreciate every second that you've given me today. You're a wealth of knowledge, and you're really motivating, and it's fantastic, like I said, to see you every day. So I'm very, very happy to obviously look up to you as a footballer, but now obviously away from football, looking as a dad as well, man. You're doing a killer job, and I appreciate you, man.
Mate, my pleasure. You've been a legend, mate. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, brother. Guys, that is the podcast. If you are enjoying the content, head over to @CoolDadCollective_ on Instagram, or CoolDadCollective on TikTok. And if you want to get in touch with the podcast, CoolDadCollective @hotmail.com. I'll be leaving all the links for Fyfey in the show notes below. So if you are about that, go give Fyfey a follow, and we'll keep promoting it on my page as well, my brother.
I'll do the same.
All right, guys. You know what it is. Have a great week. Have a great day. Be nice to your kids, nice to your partner. Keep showing up. Caught, not taught. Model the behaviors you want to see in your kids. You know what it is, guys. Peace.